This was the laptop that was sent back to me a few days ago because the buyer said that he found something that was a little bit cheaper, and even though the laptop was bought or was sold well over 3 weeks ago, the buyer reached out to me and said, hey, I did find something cheaper. I didn't want to start to negotiate, a little bit of discount, which I had the option of doing, but I found it a little bit irresponsible from the buyer side, having head onto the laptop for well over 3 weeks, and is now reaching out to me and saying, oh, I found something cheaper. What actually happened was that, I actually did set up this offer like 3 or 4 weeks ago using the original price, but because of the way things were, performing, things were not selling the way they should, I went ahead and reduced the price. But this was the same day that this buyer actually did buy this laptop, and unfortunately this laptop became a little bit like 30 euros or 35 euros cheaper. It is what it is. It happens a lot when you sell stuff online, because sometimes we are trying to move the sales, and yes, it is what it is. I just found it a little bit irresponsible. If the buyer wanted a little bit of a discount, he could have reached out to me to say, how do I Flipper, please, could you just give me 30 euros? I see that you have reduced the price of this laptop on the same day that I actually bought one. It happens because if you go to the big retail shops, you will understand that this is a thing that happens, all the time. But that being said, not a problem. It's a return from a buyer. We're going to open it up because the laptop was sold for about 270 something euros. I have to return money. But before doing that, I always want to be sure that my item that was sent out is coming back exactly the same way that it was sent to the buyer. I want to say that the buyer has done a very good job, by packing it properly. Take a look at the inside. The bubble wraps that was, used to send the laptop is still there, and this paper padding on the top is still right there. So from sending my stuff back to me in a responsible manner, I would say the first step has been, really passed by the buyer, because sometimes these people, they send back these items in very bad condition. Taking a look at the bubble wraps, I kind of see a laptop that is well packed. But sometimes, that the buyer said that he received this item or he saw this item a bit cheaper, it doesn't necessarily mean that might be the reason. Sometimes this laptop might have fallen. I have seen situations where somebody has destroyed the laptop, perhaps the laptop fell down, only to come around and say, oh, I want to return it because of one reason. And that has happened before, and I don't want that to be the case. So I'm carefully opening this laptop now just to be sure that everything is still looking in a very good condition. The laptop was a grade A laptop, like very clean. I would say that for a used laptop like this, I find it to be very clean. Taking a look at the outside, I see a laptop that's still looking very clean, well kept, nothing I can easily see that would set me off and kind of give me the impression that the buyer has been trying to be fishy. Take a look at the front, everything looking very clean. The back of it, I will tell you that this is not so bad what I can see here. And the most important thing is that the screen is still looking very clean. All right, if it were not so, I would also have told you guys that, look, this is a buyer that I would call irresponsible. I'm switching on the laptop now just to be sure that it's still exactly, working, installed with the operating system in which I sent it out, and that's it right there. Hopefully the buyer has deleted the files. I would not be held responsible for, for files still on the laptop, because I'm going to go ahead and install a new operating system on this. Like, make sure everything is wiped out clean. Everything looks very clean. Beautiful laptop, I would say. It's not a problem when it comes back like this, because the fact that this laptop is not broken, I even think this is a touch screen. Yes, it's a touch screen laptop. I don't know why these guys decided to just send it back, because this was supposed to be one very beautiful, decent laptop. It is what it is. We get situations like this all the time, but thankfully enough, this thing has been returned back in the most pristine condition. I do not have reason to badmouth the buyer. It is what it is. Sometimes some people have different ideas for buying things. So what I'm going to do now is to go ahead and try to refund the buyer on eBay, because this laptop did come to me on Friday, if I remember correctly, last week, and I did deliberately wait till this time. Saturday I waited, Sunday I waited. If I do not return the money to the buyer today, eBay is going to send me a notification by tomorrow, and the failure to do that by tomorrow might result in eBay closing the case and just debiting my account, and it will be counted, in my own, rating on eBay as not a good thing. I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to go ahead now, issue a very good refund to the buyer. I've seen situations where people return your item and you issue them a refund and they go ahead and leave you a positive review because, yes, they feel like you have done a very good job by, making sure that you held yourself responsible to what you promised. Because on this offer on eBay, the promise is that if you buy this item, you have up to 30 days to return it if you do not like it. And I did send a free return label to this buyer. So from my side, all my promises for this transaction has been well kept. I do not see any reason why I shouldn't get a positive review. The only reason why this laptop was returned was that the buyer said, I found it a little bit cheaper. See, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to list this laptop again on eBay using the original price that I used in listing it, which is the expensive price. Because if I'm to go ahead to list it even with a discounted price, I'm going to be making a little bit of a loss, here and there, which I do not want that to happen. So what I want to do is to list it with the full price as a standalone listing, and hopefully somebody's going to come around and click on the buy it now button. And if it doesn't sell in about a week or two, definitely I can then go ahead and reduce the price. Guys, this is what we see sometimes. These are the behind the scenes, which I try to tell you guys, or show you guys on this channel. Flipping laptops for profit is a beautiful business model that has been proven to work. There are responsible people online looking for decent laptops. There are organizations, there are schools, there are kids, there are students, there are university researchers and doctors, engineers looking for, recent laptops that have not been, so used like 20, 30 years ago. They're looking for recent stuff in the last 2-3 years, up to 5 years. If you can get hold of this stuff, guys, you are going to be relevant in creating or providing a service to this group of people that want, something decent. I'm telling you, a long time ago, I used to think that, yes, it was very easy to get decent and responsible, hardware, until I started searching online to see what's available. A lot of the hardwares you have out there, they are full of one problem or the other. The keyboard is missing, the screen has scratches, the laptop battery is not, good enough. And it's sometimes a little bit of a problem for those that have said, look, we have money, I want to spend money buying something decent, but I cannot seem to find something that I am looking for. And if you can fill in that gap, do your due diligence, which is looking for good, responsible, hardwares, monitors, laptop, desktop PCs, clean them up, do what you have to do, upgrade them if you have to, make nice photographs, put them on a platform like, say, eBay or Facebook. I'm telling you, you are going to get it sold and you're going to make money, profit doing it. Of course, there are nuances to it. Sometimes things don't sell, or sometimes there are competitions. Sometimes your price might not be the best, but it is just another kind of business. And if you have been doing business long enough, you understand that every business has got its challenges, but that is not to say that this method of making money has been proven not to work. It works. I'm currently doing it. And if you love this kind of content, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Ensure you click on the like button, support your boy, make this channel grow. Until I see you again in the next one, peace out.